Welcome back to Carbon Racing Series Season 4. We're here at the Circuit Algarve, or Portimao Circuit, in Portugal for Round 11. I think I already said that. The Portuguese Grand Prix, a tough track at the best of times, especially Turn 8, I think it is. It's a rather nasty one. Just after, in fact, it's about halfway through Sector 2. Just after the second DRS zone. Yes, it is Turn 8. Yes, it's the Turn 8 that isn't quite so liked as the one in Turkey. And the one highlight from the race we had in Season 3 was this. Kane on the dry tyres on a wet track, getting in the way of Lennart, who was on course to win the championship. Faco right behind. And it seems that due to Lennart's compromised run, it put him all out of shape. And Faco finds himself with a much better run into Turn 1 on the final lap. And this was the championship decider. Turn 1. That's where the championship went in Faco's favour. As usual, you got the white striped hard tyres, the yellow striped medium tyres, and the red striped soft tyres, going from higher durability to higher grip. And now let's take a brief look at the championship standings. It's Ivan Hafterkamp who leads the way by 6 points over his teammate Kane, and 3 points ahead of Lennart. However, Lennart will not be able to race today, so do not expect Lennart's total to climb. Faco is still here, though, that will allow him to get a bit further into the championship fight. As for the Constructors' title, it's... well, pardon me. It's still Red Bull that's leading the way, but Alpha might be catching up a little bit. Could be catching up. Oh, I've just gone onto the wrong part. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. It's not often that I get things wrong. Anyway, excuse me, little Xbox controller. You can't exactly disconnect when you're a wired controller. Right, so... whoa, that was a strange... what was going on there? Anyway, we're actually quite early. It's only been 40 seconds since the session started. I can't change the camera type. There we go. He finally left the pit lane and it decided, now you can change the camera. So we're riding with Crazy Steve. He's right behind. That's Jaden, who I made the mistake of calling a reserve driver. He's not. He's actually full-time Alpine driver. And we're doing short quali as we've not had a full sign-up today. So we've only got 13 drivers, which is sad. It happens. The game is getting towards the end of its life cycle, though. We should expect some news on F1 2022, hopefully by the end of this month. April, that is. If not, we might hear something in May. But that's going off how things have been for the previous games. F1 2021, for example, was announced, I think it was late April. So hopefully we'll hear something. We'll get an announcement trailer, or reveal trailer as Codemasters like to call it, towards the end of April, maybe on the 25th. We shall see, as Crazy Steve begins his first flying lap. He should set the benchmark as he goes through turn 4. It's a fairly nasty turn, that one. Oh, we're getting some lag. I think I know what's going on. I have not got the performance mode on again. Apologies for that. So, didn't catch his sector 1 time, unfortunately. His sector 2 time as he comes through turn 10 and 11, I think that is. I think it's a double turn, double right-hander. And I wasn't paying attention to the sector 2 time either. So that happens. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. That's just a car going slowly, though. Turn 13, 14, and 15. It's a very similar amount of turns to the Barcelona circuit. Almost looks like the Barcelona circuit from above, too, as Crazy Steve sets the benchmark at a 1.7. Oh, well, he immediately gets beaten by Jaden, who goes 8 tenths faster and sets the benchmark at a 1:16.8. Next along is going to be Ryan Kennedy, as Faco now improves the benchmark by another 3 tenths. Ryan Kennedy coming around the final corner. Up the hill, he's hugging the inside a bit and goes 3 tenths faster than Steve. That's only enough for third fastest, however. Yeah, the stream looks good. Just checking that things are not malfunctioning. Riding with the Williams of Luke GDI, who was in a good position to potentially take victory last week, or actually the week before, in Belgium I think it was, but unfortunately things went really wrong, as he goes 2 tenths slower than Luke, than Faco even, and goes P2 on the boards. Next up, we've got Dirk, reserve driver today, substituting for Kane, who could not take part this week, which means that Ivan is in a very good place to extend his championship lead and potentially take his first championship. Things just haven't been going well for Lennart and Faco. They have been going well as of late, but the start of the season, the first half of the season for the Alfa Romeo pairing has just been absolutely horrible. And the fact that they have both managed to win races, very nice indeed. As Ivan is coming across the line now and goes on pole by about 2 tenths of a second. So that's provisional pole. This isn't Q1, it is short qualifying, so they are battling for pole here. Every lap does count. Next we've got Luke, but he's going to come into the pits. We've got Dan Edwin as well, but he's also on a cool down lap. So next, it's going to be Dirk in the second Red Bull. Reserve driver. RB16B. Looking, these cars, it's hard to believe that these cars were still racing, still top of the line just a few months ago, and now they're going to start looking weird in a few months, I reckon. Probably already do look a bit weird. As Dirk only manages P7. I don't think his points will count anyway, as he is just a reserve driver. Oh, and now Formula Cringe goes on provisional pole. Where's that come from? But it's only by about 0.03 of a second. So it's a very fine margin of a provisional pole here. Ivan's coming into the pits. We've got Pookie on a lap, I think. He's on medium tyres. And he's definitely on a cool-down lap here. Got Ben Dixon on an out lap. He's coming through turn 4. Down into turn 5. He is on an out lap though, so it doesn't matter too much. Is Dirk going to go for another attempt? Well, he's been on a cool-down lap. Ooh, he was lucky not to invalidate that. If he is going for another attempt, it looked like he ran out of battery on the previous lap, as I did notice his lights started blinking just before he went over the line. He's coming into the pits, though. Pookie is definitely trying to go for a run on the mediums here. Let's take a look at the tyres. He's the only man who's done a lap time on the medium tyres. So in fact, he's actually done a 1:17.1 on the mediums, which isn't bad. It means he's still got some pace in him if he wants to try and go out on the soft tyres. But I'm not certain how much it will matter. Certainly starting in the top 10 with medium tyres can be advantageous. But if he drops down, it's not really going to matter. We do know, though, that Pookie really does like his alternate strategy. Someone who isn't going for the alternate strategy, however, is Ryan Kennedy, the Aston Martin AMR21, looking very much like a rubbish Mercedes, in which it really was, taking the number 27 of Nico Hulkenberg. Reserve drive. Actually, no, that's 21. Okay, I thought it was 27 for some reason. Looked like 27 from the front, and then he shows the side, and it's clearly not. But yeah, number 21, instead that's the number of Esteban Gutierrez, who is not quite as renowned as Mr. Hulkenberg, or as Daniel Ricciardo might say, Nico Hülkenberg. Going through Sector 2. It's a fairly long sector, this one. Takes a fair amount of time. Oh, and he goes wide and invalidates, so that's not gone well for Ryan. Immediately puts his car into recharge. Dan Edwin is on an outlap. I wonder, has he invalidated? Nope. So he didn't invalidate too late. Car number 13, that's Pastor Maldonado's number. The only driver to have willingly drove in with number 13. Of course, it was, I think, 2014 was, I think, the first time the number 13 had appeared on the grid since, the 1950s? It had certainly been quite a while. Of course, F1 drivers and the like, they're a very suspicious bunch, and to this day, the number 13 does not appear under the F2 numbering system, or the F3 numbering system. It doesn't really appear in many sport numbering systems unless you've really chosen the number. There's a bit of a traffic jam around turn 12. It's Faco getting out of the way for one of the AlphaTauris. He's going to have to continue making way. No, he's going around turns 13 and 14. Might give a little bit of a slipstream to Dan Edwin, who does keep inside the line. Everyone's going for another flying lap attempt. Dan Edwin hugging the inside wall. He's run out of battery too, and he manages to improve by 0.3 of a second up to P4. Ivan has also improved, and he's gone about 1.5 tenths faster than Formula Cringe. He should have at least one more set of tyres to go for a run on. Currently, the slowest driver on track is Dirk. Affery is in the Haas. I thought he was an Aston Martin driver. Unless he's a reservist. I don't really remember. Not the typical Haas driver. Dirk has not had a great lap here. I think he's potentially had to spin, so he's going to have to go again. Who else is coming? Hanges is coming around the final set of corners. Pookie's about to cross the line. And he has improved to P3. He did do that on soft tyres. Hanges has run out of energy. So he's now the slowest driver. That's not a representative time. Faco, meanwhile, he's 2 tenths faster through Sector 2. And he manages to go 1.5 tenths faster than Ivan. Manages to snatch provisional pole. What a lap. Further down, we've got Crazy Steve, but he's going very slowly. We've got Dirk, who's taking the escape road. Something's gone wrong. You'd think he was retiring, but you can't retire in qualifying. We've got Hanges right ahead of Pookie. We'll see what his Sector 2 time is. Does appear to be a lot better. He may have been caught out by turn 8 on his previous attempt. Now going through 10 and 11. down the hill. Be careful not to invalidate. Up into... Actually, no, is that... Turn 11 just went through. Well, this is turn 12. I'm pretty sure about that. And then 13, 14. It's a double right-hander going down the hill. Doesn't take as much curb as some drivers have. And then through 15, up the brief crest, across the line. It is much more representative, but it's still miles off the pace. So Hangis not really getting to grips with this track, and I don't blame him. It's not an easy one to get a handle on. Faco is coming in. We've got Cringe. Cringe has gone faster than Ivan again. So Ivan really not liking this track that much. And Cringe might be on for an unexpected pole position here. He might have done a lot of practice. Maybe he just really likes this track. He's only 3 and a bit hundredths off of Faco. That's not bad. Whilst Ivan is 9 hundredths behind a Cringe. Next, we've got Jaden. He's gone slightly faster through Sector 2. Don't know if it's going to be much of an improvement. He could have had an amazing Sector 1 and a horrible Sector 2. Or vice versa. He comes across the line, does improve by 3/10. So he's had a much better Sector 3. Goes up into 5th place. That's provisional 5th, of course. We've got Ryan just behind. He's on an outlap, as is Hangis, who's actually on the same tyres. So he'll have to come in and go for... well, he's got to come in as quick as he can. Otherwise he won't actually harm Pookie, who's just come out. Maybe they're communicating with each other. Not certain. Of course, Hangis substituting, or rather, well, not really substituting, as a Hyper has, what's the word? He's stopped taking part in the league. He's still part of the group, but he's got bored of the game and he prefers to play Escape from Tarkov or something instead. Jaden 3/10 faster than previous best. Oh, we got yellow flag. That's Pookie. He spun in Sector 2. Or he was just slowed right down for Ryan. Ivan also on an outlap. Ryan has gone 5/10 faster than in Sector 2. Yellow flag in Sector 1. That was probably the Haas making way. And Ryan might have lifted off a bit. It doesn't look like he's going really fast. No, he does improve. 7/10 faster. It puts him provisional P7. Got Crazy Steve as well. He's coming around the final the penultimate corners. We've got yellow flags again. That's Dan Edwin and Affery again. Crazy Steve does improve by 4/10, but it's not enough to move him up the field. Next, it's going to be Ivan. No, he's actually not had a great Sector 1 there. He's sort of matched his time, except maybe gone a little slower, and in fact he's completely backed off. So he's going to go for it again. He's still got time. Dirk is on an outlap. Affery also on an outlap. That's Pookie is pushing right behind Affery's Haas. Haas gets out of the way. Takes a nice amount of curb on the inside. Gonna get rid of the tyre graphics. So they're fairly slow. Turns 13 and 14, and then into 15. Very fast right-hander. Onto the final straight. Hugs the inside. Where is this going to put Pookie? That's provisional P2. That's not a bad lap. Next, we've got Ben Dixon. He's coming across the line on an outlap. Dan Edwin's next. There's got 30 seconds for a whole bunch of cars to start their flying laps here. I think Ryan Kennedy has had a mistake, and he's been disqualified for going the wrong way. That's it. That's irritating. So he's going to lose all of his positions there, and that puts him dead last. So who is going to be first across the line? It is going to be Dirk. To see how much he can improve. He's currently 11th. Second slowest. Hangis has retired. Or, well, he's finished. He's miles off the pace. He's not had a representative lap time. Which means Dirk is otherwise the slowest driver on track. Runs out of energy. Manages to improve to P8. 8/10 faster. Slow moving car, that's Steve. He's invalidated at some point. Afri has gone a little bit faster in Sector 2. Going through the final corner, up the hill, and he's pulling into the pits. He's not happy with that lap. We've had Ben Dixon improves to P2. And now Ivan has invalidated. He will not start. Oh, that's gone horribly wrong for Ivan and Dan Edwin, both of these drivers having to, what's the word? Retire, pulling into the pits. And Luke has actually jumped Ivan, so it's a disastrous qualifying for Ivan. And Faker goes even faster. And things have gone wrong for Formula Cringe as well. He's lost his front wing at some point. So he will not be fighting for pole. But look how close the margins are. 500ths separate the top 5. That's an insane margin. Faker 116.144. Ben Dixon 116.154. Pookie 116.177. Formula Cringe 116.182. And Luke GDI 116.194. 500ths of a second. All 4 of these drivers pushing to the absolute limits and setting almost identical lap times. That is insane. Okay, Hangis is permanent now. So, there we go. But and Luke manages to improve by another 10th? No, that's got to be the AI driving him. So that won't count. But still, what an insane spread. 500ths of a second separating the top 5. The only way it could be more insane is if they set identical lap times. Which would be very impressive, but I'm almost more impressed by the fact that they... I mean, look at this. We've got Ben Dixon, 100th. Pookie, 3300ths, a third of a 10th. Formula Cringe, 3800ths. Luke, 500ths, thousandths, whatever. It's just... I've never seen anything like that before. You don't get that in real Formula 1. That is bonkers. Well, we move in to the race now. It's going to be a shorter stream than usual as we don't have the full qualifying today. Obviously. Only 13 drivers. We might have 14 if someone's joined, but otherwise, I think it's just going to be 13 today. And it's a rather muggy looking Portimao. Bit cloudy. It's not exactly incredible Portuguese weather. It's almost British. And I see hard tyres in the Mercedes garage. Could be that someone might be trying their luck on the hard tyres. Let's take a look at the tyres though. And no, Top 10, as to be expected, all on the soft tyres. Afri, Hanges and Ryan starting on the mediums. Faco then leads the way, ahead of Ben Dixon, which I think is his best starting position possibly ever in the league. Someone will probably have to correct me on that. Certainly a very good attempt from Ben Dixon to put it second on the grid. Pookie manages to go third, his best starting position in a little while. Formula Cringe, possibly also his best starting position. He'll be kicking himself that he's lost his front wing and could have got pole. Another person who might be kicking themselves is Ivan. To only be starting in P6, it's a bit of a mountain to climb, and almost lost it on whilst trying to warm his tyres. It's not really the position he'll want to finish in. He'll want to try and at least get onto the podium. But I reckon we're going to see a lot of penalties here. Yes, this is going to be a fairly difficult race, I imagine. I'm not certain what the weather is going to be like. It may stay cloudy, it may get sunnier, or it may entirely, well, start raining like it did last time out. As in the last time we were here at Portimao. Predicted pit stops, either a one stop onto hards or two stop onto softs and then mediums. Bit of a wait for the final three cars to get onto the grid spots. And we should be starting momentarily. So, it's 5 lights on. It's lights out and away we go. And it looks like it's being a very good launch for Faco. And I'm not certain about that. And that's very close. Pookie manages to get past Ben Dixon into turn 1. That's Ivan fighting. There goes Dan Edwin, and he knocks out Faco. Oh, that's a horrific start for Dan Edwin and Faco. That's got to be a racing incident. And that promotes Pookie up into the lead. Luke GDI is on the podium for now. Ivan is back down into starting position, though he's fighting with Jaden for 5th. And Dan Edwin has a penalty for causing that collision. That's going to be 5 seconds, I reckon. Hanges also not had a brilliant start. He's down in 12th and already 2.3 seconds off Faco, who is, I believe, has damage. Ivan has managed to get into 5th place, and now he's fighting with Cringe. Yeah, that Ferrari, Spinala. It's like the old memes. Dan Edwin, tis Mattia, tis Benotto, Spinala. But yeah, so Pookie finds... what was that? I think that was someone raging through the in-game chat. I'm not certain. I shouldn't have that even on. But, and Faco is having to pit for that damage. Ivan, bit of a squeeze. And Pookie not really pulling away as much as he might like. He's probably not finding it easy to get around this track. As we've mentioned before, it's not an easy track to do. Yeah, it's gained a bit of time on Ben Dixon, though. And Ivan, currently the closest to anyone on the track. He is very close to Formula Cringe. And, well, this is actually very, very good for the champion. Why am I hearing people? Sorry, I've got to make sure that things are off because I can't. I've turned the voice chat off, and yet for some reason I can still hear. So that's strange. Not certain what's going on there. However, Ivan under attack from Jaden. He's got the inside though. It could be that Ivan's. Oh, he's been switchbacked. That's an incredible move from Jaden. Wonder what's going on with Ivan there. In fact, we don't have telemetry on, so let's briefly turn that on. He's fighting back. He's got the inside, but it could. Oh, and he forces his way past the Alpine. I think Ivan. I think there might be someone in the lobby who's, what's the word? Trolling us. I'm not certain. So, this is irritating because we've got trolling and it's throwing me off. As for Ivan, because of that battle with Jaden, it means it's put him just outside of DRS range. He's using as much of his energy as he can to try and get back, but now he is under threat from the Alpine, who's going to have DRS. And he's used up so much energy. What's his top... What? Hang on. There's going to be a black screen here for a second. I'm sorry about this. I need to figure out what's going on. Okay. So it's not someone in the Discord. It's someone who's definitely in the spectator chat. I really don't know why I'm able to hear them. Because I've turned off the voice chat, so I don't know why I can hear them. Anyway, at the front, it's Pookie, who's now leading about... That can't... Is that really 1.6 seconds? I think the intervals might be a little bit broken here. Because that cannot be 1.6 seconds. So, that's... We're going to see if Ben Dixon can get DRS. If it is accurate, he won't be. Or he will be. No, he's not getting it. Oh, yes, he is getting it. There we go. The intervals have fixed up. Jaden gets the fastest lap. And he's just got past Ivan again. So intervals were a bit broken. And Ivan has used up all of his energy. And I think he's made his car slightly wrong. He's... what's the word? So yes, he doesn't have the straight line speed that everyone else does. He's compromised his car on the straights, and that is really killing his race here. And it doesn't help that he's not been able to be getting the DRS off of people. However, he is within the DRS range of Jaden, but he's got to try and stay close. Meanwhile, it's 2.8 seconds back to Crazy Steve. And Formula Cringe now, without the Red Bull behind him, is possibly going to be able to mount a charge on Luke. However, it is a bit of a DRS train. And it's up to Ben Dixon to see if he can close in, but he's not had a great turn there. He's lost a bit of time. He will get the DRS. Oh, we've got a yellow flag, and that's Hangis. Hangis has had a crash, and we got a safety car, and that is Dirk pulling into the pits. I can see on the mini-map. So let's see what's happened. He must have lost it on the exit of this turn here. Potentially. Or through the turn. That's going to allow Faco to catch up. And it's going to bunch people up. So how many people will pit? Well, we've had Dirk pit. Not to be confused with the literary character created by
Clive Cussler, one of my favourite authors, may he rest in peace. Fantastic guy. And Faco and Dan Edwin coming into the pits for fresh, medium tyres, I would imagine. No, they're both going on to... Actually, no, Dan Edwin is going on to mediums. Faco is going on to hards. We might have some tyre bugs going on because it looked like they took hards off, so that's a bit odd. Position changes then. Faco obviously had pole position. He's down 10 places. Dan Edwin is down 4, which means he started in 8th, I think. Pookie is up 2 after starting 3rd. Ben Dixon has stayed in P2, and there we go. People are coming into the pits. Luke, Formula Cringe, Jaden trying to overtake Cringe in the pit lane. And we're going to see some double stacking here, especially from the AlphaTauris. That's going to hurt Formula Cringe. Yeah, he's got to double stack. And that's going to allow Ivan to get past. So Ivan has gained a position in the pits. But, well, Affery and Ryan Kennedy have stayed out on the medium tyres. That means Affery is leading the race for possibly the first time in CRS. Not certain. It's certainly not a position he finds himself in very often. But they are on tyres they've been on since the beginning of the race. We'll be able to see that. 6-lap-old mediums, whilst Pookie and Luke and Faco on fresh or very new hard tyres. Ben Dixon, well, yeah, and everyone else is on fresh mediums. So, we've got to wait at least one more lap to allow Faco and Dan Edwin to catch back up. Though, I believe the safety car can still come in. I'm not really certain, but usually the game lets these people, those who are lagging behind, lets them catch up, usually. They're coming through turn 10 now. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? So I'm wondering, what sort of lap times is Faco going to be doing? Well, Dan Edwin has I think he may have entered the pit lane too fast because he's got 10 seconds worth of penalties. Now I would have thought that he would have served at least 5 seconds of those, but you don't serve them under safety car. So, I wonder. Well, they're catching up to the pack momentarily. So we should have safety car in at the end of this lap, and racing will get back underway on lap 9. And things should go fairly well for Ivan. We'll have to see how things go. Pookie, effective race leader, is on the hard tyres, and also they'll have longer life than the mediums. They won't be as grippy, even when they're as warmed up as you can make them. And it's going to be up to Affery to set the pace. Something he's not used to. At least I don't expect he's used to. He'll probably have only done this maybe in some leagues, but more than likely he'll only have done it in single player. He's got to wait for the safety car to come back in. He's got to wait a bit longer. He can't just go yet because safety car is still out. Oh, who's that? That's dirt going round. And Affery may have caught Ryan Kennedy off guard. And that's Pookie in the slipstream of Ryan. And does he have less downforce? Is he going to be able to go past? Well, Ryan Kennedy looks like he's visibly closing the gap to Affery. A few drivers going wide. Dirk's had a nightmare of a restart, and now he's on top of his 3-second penalty. He's 12 seconds behind. Otherwise, the field has stayed more or less in the same places. It's not changed all that much. Pookie, though, with those fresh hards, should be lightning quick compared to Ryan. However, slightly wanted. Oh, well, there we go. Ryan pushing, trying to stay ahead. Picks up his first 3-second time penalty. And that's Pookie trying to take a look up the inside. He should have better grip. But remember that these are hard tyres. Well, he's going to take a look at the inside. No, not on this occasion. Ryan's going wide. He's defending as much as he can. Affery trying. Well, he is pulling away a bit because of Ryan defending for all his life. But that's going to deny Ryan the slipstream, or at least a very powerful one. And that is Pookie. We've got another yellow flag. That's Dirk. He's spun again at turn 12. And that's Pookie. He's just got past Ryan. And Ben Dixon has got past as well. What? So Ben Dixon has got past the pair of them. And that puts Ben Dixon in effectively to the race. I don't know. When Cringe has had a spin at turn 3. What a disaster for Cringe. And that's Ivan who's gone up the inside. That's Ryan losing 3 places, I think, in the space of 1 corner. Dirk gets another penalty. He's messed up turns 1 and 2 as well. And now Ivan back up into 5th place, which is effectively 4th, given that Affery hasn't pit yet. And Ben Dixon getting closer to Affery. We won't have DRS until the next lap. Will he have the ability to go around, use the slipstream? Well, we'll see. 5/10 separate the pair of them. Ben Dixon does have the slipstream. He's used up a lot of his energy, though. So he does have the slipstream. He's not going to use his energy. He's going to wait until a DRS zone. He takes a little look at the turn 1. Oh, and Affery's hit the corner. He's hit the curb, and that's allowed Pookie to catch up. And now Affery is going to have to be the roadblock, but now he's going to get the DRS, which is not what Ben Dixon would have wanted. He had to take avoiding action. And Jaden, I think, has got past Pookie, or is trying to go past. He goes really wide. He'll probably get a warning for that. He doesn't have a penalty yet, but you can't do that too often, and he's actually going to give the position back. And Ivan is taking the opportunity. He's going to try and get past Jaden. He's might have the traction. No, he's going to have to hold off for now. We've got a yellow flag as Dirk retires. He obviously hates this racetrack. And Ivan has to hold off for now. And Ben Dixon taking off at the front. 1.2 seconds between him and Affery now. But Pookie will get the DRS, and Affery, I think, is going to be a sitting duck. But his tyres obviously still have a fair amount of grip. Well, not enough grip, unfortunately. Unfortunately for him, anyway. And Pookie doing 198 miles an hour, but he's not going as fast as Jaden was. Oh, and he's had a bit of a slide. Not too much of a slide, and Jaden goes up the inside, and he's gonna get the pair of them. What a move from Jaden. Pookie is gonna fight back. He gets squeezed onto the runoff, and he gets the he gets the DRS. But Jaden is putting in one hell of a move. He also fighting back. Oh, he gets a bit of poor wheel spin on the exit of 5, though. Oh, he's putting up one hell of a fight, and he's used up a lot of his energy trying to get the place on Pookie. I don't think the hard tyres were the right way to go. He is absolutely fighting for second place here. Ryan Kennedy has had a spin, and Jaden has got past Pookie, but he will he be able to keep that? As he is now at the head of a DRS train. So it's up to Pookie to see if he can get back past Jaden, and also if Ivan can get past Jaden as well. Maybe Pookie as well. I had to trip up at some point. Faco, meanwhile, has had a good restart. He's up into P8. And there we go, we've got the DRS. And that's Jaden practically sitting still. He's also run out of energy, and Pookie makes the move. And there's a bit of a contact between them. Oh, that was very close. Jaden picks up a penalty now for going too wide. He's pushed his luck too much. He falls back, and he's going onto the runoff as well. He's got the DRS. He doesn't have the energy, though. Ivan is going to make the move up the inside, and that's Jaden currently in fourth. Will he have the traction, though? He doesn't have the energy, and Jaden actually picks up a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. He's really pushing his luck, and now he's not going to finish fourth unless he, finishes first, and, I'm not making much sense. Ryan Kennedy spins again. Ivan into the podium positions now, just a few tenths behind Pookie, who is 3.6 seconds behind Ben Dixon. And personally, I think that this is a really good position for Ivan. He just needs to really stay here behind Pookie. Let Pookie tow him along and maybe get a slingshot at some point. But it depends what his straight line speed is going to be. He will have the DRS. And Jaden is actually right behind him. He might have a bit less downforce than the Red Bull, though not enough in this case. So will Ivan try and get past Pookie? And he'll probably want to at some point, as Pookie's tyres will have more grip for longer. Gets the DRS again. Is he going to make a dive bomb? He takes a look. Not going to get the move done, though. Dan Edwin and Formula Cringe swapping places. One more retirement and everyone will finish inside the points. Oh, we've got Crazy Steve having a bit of an incident. And so now he's taking up P10. And Cringe picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting or whatever. Track extending, I imagine. Ivan still under threat from Jaden. So Alpine still doesn't have anywhere near as much energy, though, as he would like. Ivan has mountains of it. He can afford to, sit on it. If Jaden tries to make an attack, he can just defend. He also has the DRS once again. And in fact, Jaden is down below 10%, and this is Ivan going to make the move on Pookie. Pookie not fighting it. I think he's just waiting for the second DRS straight. Jaden picks up another penalty. Oh, and that's very, very close. Almost a Saudi Arabia sort of situation. Pookie making contact with the DRS, not the diffuser. He's got the DRS for the second straight here. He's going to try and go around the outside. No, he holds off for now. So Ivan effectively in P2. And the race is almost halfway done. And Ivan gradually reeling Ben Dixon in. Sort of. A little bit. But he's not going to be able to pull away from Pookie that easily unless the Mercedes makes a massive mistake. He is on the softer, slightly grippier medium tyres, but he's not going to be able to make much time on the Mercedes. He is pulling out a few tenths, which will hopefully protect him, give him some breathing room from Pookie. And now he'll be trying to use his energy, I reckon, to defend. As Pookie will have the DRS now. But will he be able to make a move on Ivan? No. Not on this occasion. He is, though, he's not had a great turn one there. And that is what Ivan needs. 6 tenths already. The hard tyres just are not doing too well for Pookie. He's lost a million positions, it feels like, even though he's exactly where he started the race. He's under threat from Jaden again, but want to at least try and take P3 on the road. But it's not going well for Pookie. He's gradually losing time. Oh, and Ivan gets a bit of a slide, and that loses him a couple of tenths. But he should have the grip to pull outside of that 1 second barrier. He is reeling Bendixson in. He's closed in by about 6/10 of a second. And he's so close to getting outside of that 1 second margin for Pookie. And in fact, he has there for a brief moment. But he's not going to be able to do it on this lap. He does, however, have a very good... Oh, he's actually run out of battery. He's used up too much of his battery. He's a sitting duck right now. And those blinking red lights are exactly what Pookie will want to see. Ivan has to... He's used up too much of his battery in one lap. And that could prove detrimental. Pookie still has almost 40%. He's obviously using a little bit of that through normal means. But Ivan, he's used up way too much of his battery, trying to catch up to Bendixson, trying to pull away from Pookie, and he almost did it, and it just didn't pay off. He had that one moment, and he's having another moment at turn 8. So now he's got to try and rely entirely on grip. And Pookie, I reckon he smells blood in the water right now. That's unfortunately what happens when you're at the head of a DRS train. You've got to use up so much of your energy, whereas if you're behind, you could just sit on it, gather it up. Oh, it's not gonna... Well, he's still 8/10 ahead of Pookie. It's gonna give him a bit of breathing room, but he simply cannot use any of it, as he's already very close to going into the 10% margin. And there we go, his lights are blinking. Pookie, with the DRS, he could get him into turn 5. Oh, but he has a bit of a slide. Not much of a tank slapper, but it was very close to losing it completely. Car on the edge of control. Jaden's also used up a lot of his energy. You can see the lights blinking from the front of the car, which is very strange. Ivan's done a fair amount of work, reeling in Bendixson by about 6/10, but now he's going to be losing that somewhat, as he just doesn't have the energy, and I reckon it's actually quite hard to pick up energy here. Faco, meanwhile, is closing in on Formula Cringe and Dan Edwin. And that's Dan Edwin trying to make a move on Cringe. No, he has to hold off for now, and he actually buggers it a little bit. Gets a bit of a wiggle, and he has to hold off. But this isn't the battle we want to see. It. Oh, Dan Edwin going a bit sideways. Ivan still about 7.5 ahead of Pookie, but he's going to lose all that time, much of that time anyway, down the straight, and Pookie really does smell the blood in the water, but he's holding off for now. He's doing exactly what Ivan should have been doing. He's been holding off. Dan Edwin has got past Formula Cringe. Faco, though, has to settle for P9 for now. And Pookie is just sitting on his energy. But that's Jaden trying to take a look at the inside. He's actually fighting for P3 here on the road. It's not going to matter too much. He has a billion seconds of penalties. He also doesn't have much energy to play with. But Jaden is still fighting to at least get onto the podium on the road. Oh, that's Pookie taking a bit of a slide. This is exactly what Ivan needs. Ivan is now outside of a second of Pookie. This fighting between the Mercedes and the Alpine, it's really hurting Pookie here. And the Alpine basically pushing Pookie along. And this is exactly what Ivan needs. Now he can relax a little bit. At 1.2 seconds, he's outside of the DRS margin. Pookie is now under threat from Jaden, who doesn't have a lot of energy to play with. He's obviously not very experienced with his energy deployment, but he has the DRS. which might be enough to get Pookie, who is standing still. Oh, what the heck? That's Luke who's got the DRS as well. There's a bit of a wobble. He's been caught off guard, and he goes off the track. Luke is now in P3 all of a sudden. He must have been using his energy as well to get the pair of them. So now, that puts Luke in a very good position. He's gradually reeling Ivan in a little bit. He's also on the hard tyres, I think. Take a look at tyres. Yes, he's on hard tyres, and they should be a bit grippier than the mediums at this point. However, he is still losing time to Ivan, who is not reeling Ben Dixon in as much as he would like, I reckon. Hope for a safety car, maybe? Oh. I don't want the TV pod, thank you. So, what sort of data shall we look at? Well, Luke still outside of a second, but he has a fair amount of battery. Ivan, though, has been using as much of it as he can. Luke just has to sit in his slipstream. He is gradually closing in. 187, that's the battery doing the work. So, Luke has just got back inside of a second, but it's, oh, and Jaden keeps picking up more penalties. If he gets more than 24 seconds, I think the game will disqualify him. We've got 12 laps to go, and it's currently Ben Dixon leading the way. Ivan, though, is closing in slightly, but it's not enough. And he's using up all of his battery to try and do it, to try and stay ahead. And it just goes to show that battery management is so crucial on this game. If you use it at the wrong points, or if you use too much of it, on a track like this where it's difficult to gain that energy back, it can be really detrimental. He's still just outside of the DRS margin, but even with 20% battery, all Luke has to do is just drive normally, and he'll still have more energy, a bit more horsepower than Ivan. And look, he's already inside of a second. That's how much of a difference it made. Having practically zero energy to play with, he's having to use overtake to try and stay ahead. But I think this is Ivan reaping the fruits of his mismanagement here. He's just got no energy to play with, and he can't afford to try and harvest any of it. He has to use it when he has it to try and stay ahead of Luke. But Luke, well, I think his hard tyres are also starting to come into their own a bit here, though, as I say that, it looks like that the medium tyres are still grippier at the right times. Or maybe Luke just hasn't had a great lap here. He's still probably going to get back within the 1 second margin, but it won't be enough, I reckon. Not in this case. He should get the DRS out of turn 4. At the minute, it's hard to tell. He does get the DRS. He's had to use a bit more of his own energy, and now he's a bit under threat from Pookie, who has plenty of energy. Well, a lot more than either of the two drivers ahead. Jaden also still using all of his energy. He's still fighting. Props to him. He's not gonna finish where he's not going to finish. He's not going to officially finish where he finishes on the road, but he's still driving like he was going to finish there. And yeah, props to him. if it were me, I would probably not really be bothering. But I guess I'm not really a true racer. You're not a true racer unless you're fighting all the time. So, Luke, I think, could it actually be losing a bit of touch to Ivan? He hasn't had the greatest third sector there. He has had a... Oh, and that's Jaden going up the inside! And so that's Jaden. He's actually given DRS to Pookie there, I think. Yep. Oops. Oh, you see Jaden absolutely fighting. Pookie covers off the inside. Oh, bit of a bump on the back. Don't know if that's gonna be damage though. Don't think so. Crazy Steve picks up the fastest lap of the race at 1:18.5. I think he's just reserved though. Don't remember. And Pookie still currently in 4th position, and Luke just not able to catch up to Ivan. He's just doesn't have the grip, and you can see the hard tyres just not holding on through these twisty bits of Sector 3 especially. Much of this track is pretty fast. In 1.3 seconds he will be slightly faster than Ivan. You can see the red lights blinking on the Red Bull just ahead. But it's not going to be enough. Ivan might still get within the... Ooh, actually, I don't think Luke is even going to get the DRS down this... Oh, actually, he might do, actually. Yeah, he just got it. Just. So that will allow Luke to defend somewhat. But I don't think it's going to allow him to really catch up to Ivan as much as he would like. Afri, meanwhile, has made his pit stop at some point, and he's down in 9th. Let's take a look at pit stops. So actually, he hasn't made a pit stop yet. He's still on the tyres. He started the race. He's extending. Can I go onto soft tyres, maybe? Which is not really what I would do. Because that's really going to compromise his race. His tyres are going to be absolutely shot. And when he pits, he should still be ahead of Crazy Steve. But maybe he might get the fastest lap and pick up an extra point. As it goes for fastest lap, I believe it's still Crazy Steve who has it. Yes, 1:18.5. So about 3/10 faster than Luke DDI, who has the next fastest time. And there we go. There is Afri pulling into the pits. Let's take a look at the tyres. And he should be going on to soft tyres. Crazy Steve is also on soft tyres, as is Ryan Kennedy. And Luke has actually managed to get within 8/10. Oh, it has a bit of a wheel spin on the exit of 5 there. And that's going to harm him through 6 and 7 and 8. And yes, Afri is going on to fresh soft tyres. He's had to serve possibly serve a penalty, I'm not certain. And Luke just still on the cusp of getting inside of DRS, but just doesn't have the grip, and it's especially through turns 12 and 13 here. He hasn't had as bad of Sector 3 on that occasion. Ivan still using up all of his energy. He's a sitting duck down the straights. 6 miles an hour is all it takes. Pookie, though, he has the DRS on Luke, and he might be thinking about making a look into turn 5, though. Once again, Luke does get the DRS again down into turn 5. That's what puts him up into the DRS range of Ivan, but he's not having the best of exits on turn 5. Oh, it's too close to call. I think Ivan's not had a great exit out of 8. I think he had another wobble. But once again, his tyres are giving him a bit of an advantage through turns 10, 11, 12 and 13. However, Luke is a bit closer on this occasion, but not close enough. Does he have the better traction? No, I don't think he's going to get within the time. We'll look at his rear wing. And no, he isn't within the second margin. And he's also starting to run low on battery. He's trying to defend from Pookie now. He knows he's under threat. And Pookie, if things go his way, on for a potential podium here. The hard tyres starting to come into their own a bit here. And Ivan has actually managed to close the gap to Ben Dixon to about 2.1 seconds. So that could be Ben Dixon. Yes, Ben Dixon using up as much of his energy as he can, as well as Afri does get the fastest lap. 1:18.392. Slightly faster than Crazy Steve's fastest lap. And this time, Luke a lot closer to Ivan, and he could get DRS on this lap, which is... oh, that's going to be sitting in the back of Ivan's mind here. He just has... oh, and I don't think he's had the best of exits out of 12. He's going to be inside DRS range unless he has a mega exit here. No, he's going to be within DRS. Just 5 laps away from the end of the race. He doesn't have energy to play with. And this is going to be crucial. Luke does still have energy. He's got the DRS as well. And he's closing that gap to Ivan. But it's just not enough. Ivan is going to be kicking himself for using all of his energy too early. He's been on the cusp of running out. And Luke might be able to make a move into turn 5. He has the DRS. He does have energy. He's not taking a look he took a little look, but he's not... he didn't make a move. Oh, that's Pookie. Don't think he had a great exit there. It looked like he had a bit of wheel spin. And Luke, yes, the hard tyres are definitely coming into their own now. Even though these tyres are the same age, he is getting closer and closer to Ivan, and I don't think Ivan can hold on to P2 here. He's held it for so long. I think even Ben Dixon's victory is at risk as well. He's looking for his first ever race win in CRS, but he's losing so much time. He is fighting for everything, but he's just not fast enough. And Luke does have the energy. He's using as much of it as he can. He's catching up. He's got the DRS. He's gonna make the move. He's run out of energy. He's still got the DRS. He goes around the outside. Ivan is fighting back, but it's not gonna be enough. On this occasion, Luke does get into the top 10, into P2 even, but now Ivan gets the DRS, and now the positions are reversed. And now it's up to Ivan. Ooh, that was very close. We'll have to see if Ivan can stay within range of Luke. But I'm not certain. His tyres got to be screaming for mercy. And Pookie also looking to get onto the podium. It would, even if Ivan loses the podium, it's still an amazing result for him. P4 and 12 points is not a bad position to finish in. Especially when your two closest championship rivals aren't even racing today. And your other championship rival, who's still in the race, Faco, is only in P8. And will at best, might still get P6, but at the moment, he's looking at 4 points. Pookie has the DRS. He's got energy to play with if he needs it. And he's going to use it. He's going to take the podium away from Ivan, and actually, Ivan fighting back. He goes off the track whilst defending, and still trying to fight it out, and he's fighting so hard, and actually, he caught Pookie out a bit, but Pookie had better speed going through turn 4, And that is Ivan now outside of the podium positions, and Luke now making a charge on Ben Dixon. Luke might be on for a race win here, but there's 2 laps to go. This could still go Ben Dixon's way. He just has to hold on for 2.5 more laps. This is going to be very close. Ivan is pretty much safe in P4. It's not going to be the result he would have wanted, but it's better than where he started. He does have the ability to gain some energy now, just sitting behind people using DRS. Potentially, he could make another move onto Pookie, get back that podium position, but his tyres are going to be just rubbish now. And Luke is closing the gap. Just a few corners ago, the gap was 1.4 seconds. It's now 1.2. And Ben Dixon, he's used up so much of his energy. He still has a lot to use. And we've got a pit. Yep, that's Jaden pitting. He's going to serve his penalties, I think. He'll be safe, I reckon. As Faco picks up a 3-second time penalty. We'll just take a brief look at the penalties. Faco only got 3 seconds, so he's, to his credit, he's done quite well there. Afri and Steve are fighting for P9, and Afri has just fallen down into P10. And Luke, oh, it's gonna be very, very close here. He is within the DRS range of Luke. Sorry, Ben Dixon and Luke. Oh no. Oh, and he's just losing so much more time. Those medium tires must have something like 70% wear. And he's going to fight as long as he can. But Luke will have the DRS. He's used up all of his energy, though. Whilst Ben Dixon still has a bit to play with. He's using all of it. He will lead into the beginning of lap 33. This is a horrible position, camera. And Luke is taking a look at the inside. Luke looking. He gets into the lead. I think he has a bit of a lock-up. And that's also Pookie going at the inside of Ben Dixon. And Luke. Oh, what a horrific lap it has been for Ben Dixon. He's not put a foot wrong. And now it's Pookie fighting with Luke. This could still give Ben Dixon P2 if there's fighting. But Luke is going to win at this rate. I really feel for Ben Dixon. He's led so much of this race. But in the end, he lost the lead and the second place in the space of one corner. And there's just gonna be no time for Pookie to get past Luke. There's just not enough time unless Luke makes a mistake. He's not really put much of a foot wrong either. But Pookie is still making his mission. Luke has saved up a lot of his energy though. And it's gonna be Luke. Luke GDI is going to take, I think, his first victory of CRS. Do correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, what's going on? Oh, that's Pookie, though. So, I forgot that Pookie had a penalty that will put him in P4, but he was still racing for the victory on the road. That does mean Ivan will finish on the podium. But what a race. And my heart goes out to Ben Dixon, who does still at least finish P2 after the penalties are applied. It's been just a bit of a roller coaster ride for Ben Dixon, who's been a podium finisher before. Jaden actually picks up fastest lap of the race, 1:17.5. So he'll get 5 points for his efforts. And we'll just watch this little fight for P9 here. Though Steve, his slightly older tyres have failed him on this occasion. He will finish only P10. He also has 9 seconds of penalties, so wouldn't matter even if he did finish ahead of Afri here. So there we go. It's a race to forget for Faco, a race of what could have been for Ben Dixon, and also Pookie as well. And a very good result for our current championship leader, who extends his his lead in the championship by 15 points. And Kane has a lot of work to do if he wants to try and get that back. Of course, Ivan could have a horrible race in future. There's still 5 rounds to go. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 5. Actually, no, it's only 4. 4 rounds to go. And then, that will be it. F1 2021 will be dead as far as we're concerned, and we'll be waiting eagerly for F1 2022. And look at that. Luke GDI's best lap, 1:18.7. Ben Dixon, 19.0. It just was not to be for Ben Dixon. He put in a mega race, but in the end, he could only manage to finish where he started, which is still a decent result, a very good result. And Faco actually will finish in P6 after penalties. And Formula Cringe only loses 1 position after a pretty horrible race at some point. He did lose it at one point. Four warnings in one move. Okay, so that's odd. But it will. So it might still be Pookie finishing on the podium. But still, even if that does happen and Ivan goes back into 4th place, still it's a podium finish for Ben Dixon. And P4 for Ivan, which is still 12 points. Not the 15 points that he would have wanted out of that. Or, the 25 points he would have wanted. But still, a very good showing. What's going on? Why can't I do anything? I think the game might have frozen. That's... I can't do anything. Oh, there we go. Game froze for some reason, I think. That's weird. Let's take a look at the item shop. I haven't played this game much, have I? Oh, look at this. Looks a bit like the 2017 McLaren. I actually know this. This was one of the 2020 skins. I think I used this on one of my cars at one point. It's been a while since this one has been in the game. What's this one? Was this one from 2020 as well? I don't remember. Enthusiastic dad dance. Okay. But yeah, there we go. Bragging rights. Just claim my stuff elite, apparently. I was apparently incredible on that, the most recent event. Or maybe just lots of people aren't taking part. 596 I was. Okay, well, let's... Yeah, there we go. See if anyone wants to... What's the word? Have an interview? Maybe. So yeah, I do believe that was Luke's first victory. Replays? Replay what exactly? Oh, that. Oh. Let's see. Let us see what that is. Nice battle with Ryan. Okay. Right, let's just turn on display capture. Turn off that. So this is Crazy Steve
making a move on Ryan on lap 11, just after the safety car. And then we see Ryan getting a bit of a wobble on the exit of 1 going through 2. And Ryan outside of the safety, the DRS margin of the car ahead, which was eventual race winner Luke, and Steve going up the inside of the Aston Martin, who unfortunately ended up finishing in the race dead last, I think. So, bit of a race to forget. Yeah, there's going to be a few penalties that I think will get removed. As yeah, apparently Jaden got an illegal overtake on Ryan, even though Ryan wasn't actually there. So, as long as he's got proof, though, of that happening, it should get removed. But then again, he had to pit, and he probably served it anyway, so unfortunate. I wonder how Faker's going to be feeling after that start. Faco has been a little quiet. But yeah. It's going to be one to forget for Faco, I reckon. So with the current championship standings, Ivan gaining at least 12 points. That will give him 147. Faco only getting potentially 6. So that will give him 109. Actually, or maybe 8. So which would be 111, which is still not great. He's losing touch to the championship fight. And at this rate, he won't be able to defend his championship. At some point, he's going to be mathematically out of contention. So we will have to see how things go. Ben Dixon with a good result. Well, I won't move him ahead of Pookie. Yeah, Ivan running away a little bit. We'll have to, with any luck, he will finish at a decent. He will finish the championship in P1. That's obviously what everyone wants. But there's still 4 races to go. It is 4, right? Yes. Japan is next week. Then it's Saudi Arabia. Then it's Brazil, and the season finale on the May 4th at Abu Dhabi. May the 4th be with you. It's gonna. Well, it's still all to play for, and I think Ivan is in a very good position. He just needs to keep scoring well. But yeah, I think that's it for now. And we'll see you next week at the Japanese Grand Prix on the 13th of April. Do make sure to tune in, and we'll catch you then. Thank you for watching, everyone, and good night.